Hey, this is Scott at Alpha's Pride Commercial Cleaning and CEO of Velocity Coaching. Well, I had lunch recently with my good friend David Fields, and he said, "Hey, when you do wisdom for business owners, why don't you do Proverbs 14:4?" And so, since it's the 14th of the month, that's what we're going to do today in honor of David's request. So it says, "Where there are no oxen, the manger is empty, but from the strength of an ox come abundant harvests." So the first thing we have to figure out, what are oxen? What's the manger? What's it mean when it's empty? And what's a strong ox? And what are the harvests? So first of all, what's an oxen? Well, to me, an oxen is an investment. So it can be a financial investment. It can be a time investment, for example, investment in a relationship, in a person. But an oxen in a business context is a resource, something or somebody that helps you get the job done. So it can be employees, it could be your managers, your frontline workers. It could be the technology or the equipment that you use, the vehicles you use, whatever it is. You want to get the best that you can afford. And the manger is empty if there aren't any oxen. Well, that means you don't have to worry about feeding anybody. You don't have to worry about getting messy. You don't have to, your feed trough is nice and clean. Your feed is on the shelf, or your money's in the bank, so to speak. And it's all nice and neat. But when you start to make investments in the oxen, as Proverbs says, in some of the resources that I mentioned, whatever it is most appropriate for your business, it could be marketing, it could be a number of things, operating software, HR recruiting, I mean, who knows? So, but once you start making investments, it gets messy, right? The feed trough gets full, you have to resupply it, and it requires work. But is it worth it? Well, it says when you have an oxen, uh, it's strong, right? So, what does that strength of that strong oxen bring? It brings abundant harvests or profits. So, it's saying here that look, you're going to have to make investments. And some of them, as I said, might be time in relationships with people, it might be training, lots of training of managers and marketing people, abundant hours spent training human resource people, right? And new frontline cleaners, for example, in our business. Lots of money and time spent on learning new software or buying equipment that will help us serve the client better and more effectively and efficiently. And sometimes that equipment or vehicles breaks down. Sometimes the employees don't show up to work. And even worse, sometimes they quit. So, but is it worth it? Right? We keep making those investments in the oxen because ultimately we keep our mind on the big picture, on the long run, and they bring abundant harvests or profitability. And as we go, we learn how to make better and better investments. And of course, right now it's especially tricky because the labor market is really increasing at a fast rate, at a faster rate even than businesses can raise prices. So it's tricky. How do we do that? And how do we get the right quote unquote oxen, the best employees, and keep them happy, both financially and also investing in them as people? That's the trick. It is messy. It takes a lot of balance and it takes a lot of work on the owner and on the management team. But we have to keep in mind the abundant harvest, not just the profitability, but also the fruit that comes out of the lives of the people that we invest in, both our employees and our clients, as well as the way in which God blesses us by the way that we run our businesses. So uh, there you go, David. Let's have uh, lunch or coffee and we can chat about this. And for everybody else, I hope you were helped by it. Bye bye.